Most clothing brands fail, not because the owners aren't putting enough effort, but because they waste years working on the complete wrong things. I know because I did the same thing. Over the last 4 years, I wasted thousands of dollars on stupid mistakes and learning everything the hard way. But I also built my brand past $250,000 in sales. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the biggest 7 lessons I wish I could tell myself when I started, the lessons that have actually made a difference for me, and the ones I still apply to my brand today. My name is Eben. I own Omnee, a 6-figure clothing brand that shipped over 4,000 orders to over 45 countries worldwide. Let's get started. All right, lesson 1 is go the extra mile. That last stretch, that extra little touch you put into your designs, your marketing, into your content, it makes all the difference. The mistake most people make is stopping at good enough. They'll make something cool, it looks solid, they're proud of it, and it checks all the boxes, so they drop it, but then it flops. So what happened? They didn't take the extra step to push it further. The difference comes when you pause and ask yourself, can this be better? And then continue refining until you can confidently say it's as good as it possibly can be. Sometimes it might be an extra hour of work, and sometimes it might be another 4 weeks of work. Simply getting to a point where you say, holy shit, this is fire, but can it be better? Before I place this sample order or this bulk order or post this piece of content, can it be better? And if the answer is yes, then your work is not over. The reality is that most brands are putting out 8 out of 10 work, and that's why they stay stuck. It's solid, it's cool, but it's not enough to break through all of the noise right now. If you guys haven't noticed, the competition is insane. You need to be hitting people with 9s and 10s consistently. And honestly, looking back at a lot of my own old releases, I know they could have been way better if I just slowed down and pushed them a little bit further. Lesson number 2 is don't rush. Probably the biggest mistake I've made was literally just rushing releases. Looking back, there were so many drops that could have been so much better if I had not rushed them. Like I said in lesson 1, that extra bit of effort makes all of the difference. It's the extra steps that 99% of other people aren't willing to take. By definition, to be in the 1%, you need to do what 99% of people aren't willing to do. And what do 99% of people do? They try to copy viral designs and release new products back to back with as little effort as possible. Most of the products on the market right now are literally just noise and will be irrelevant in 12 months. But there's a select few from brands and artists that do take time to make great pieces. Those are the timeless pieces that people will actually remember. Here's how I like to think about it. Let's say you have 2 drops lined up you want to release in the next few months. You could do both back to back and have 2 pretty solid releases, 8 out of 10 releases maybe 9 out of 10. Or what if you took all of that time and effort and put that towards making 1 10 out of 10 release? A drop that is truly different, something that will actually stand out and put your brand on the map, and something that actually breaks through the noise. Well, here's the thing that I've learned. A 9 out of 10 drop is like hitting the bases. You're moving forward, you're making steady progress, but a 10 out of 10 drop is like a grand slam. One release like that can carry your brand way farther than any number of pretty good drops ever will. Looking back, every time I rushed a release, I was only slowing myself down in the long run. It always would have been more valuable to push it back even by just 1 or 2 weeks to really get things dialed in and give it that extra bit of effort. So this is a huge thing I'm prioritizing going forward. I've been trying to pump out monthly releases this year, but for 2026, I'm slowing things down a little bit to really focus on releasing that 10 out of 10 work. And you guys will see that decision paying off in real time. All right, lesson number 3, consistency is key. Now, I know this is the most cliche one yet, but it wasn't until I truly locked in on consistent posting, consistent drops, and consistent work that I actually started seeing real success. You simply cannot expect to grow your brand if you are not showing up every single day, even if it's just for an hour. Now, here's where it gets a little bit confusing because I just told you guys about focusing on quality over quantity, releasing 1 god tier product over 10 average ones, 1 10 out of 10 drop over 2 9 out of 10s. And that's true once you've got momentum. But what most people don't tell you is that in the very beginning, that rule doesn't apply the same way. Early on, it is not about perfection, it's about reps. You need to fail fast, get feedback, and learn what actually works. The first year, your job is just to pump out content and drops so you can figure out how to make good content, how to design standout pieces, and how to actually launch a drop. Once you've got traction, you got a following, you got some sales, you got a decent community, that is when you flip the switch to quality over quantity. Now listen, it is not always that black and white. Some people skip straight to quality and win, but that's usually because they've already got years of design or content experience under their belt. So for the rest of us, it's about putting in those reps until you're skilled enough to slow things down and focus on quality. At the end of the day, it's about balance, knowing when it's time for quantity and when it's time for quality. All right, lesson 4, your mindset is everything. The most important part of becoming successful in literally any business, building a clothing brand, running a restaurant, or running a fucking jet ski rental business, like literally whatever it is, it's all mental. If you have a weak mindset and you don't have the mental tools to get you through hard shit, it does not matter what you are doing, you are going to fail. Every single successful business has been through unexpected challenges, setbacks, and days where quitting feels a whole lot easier. And if you don't expect shit to get hard, then I'm sorry, but you are an idiot. You need to be ready for the worst to come, and more importantly, you need to have the mental tools so that when shit does hit the fan, you are prepared and you can navigate it without getting too upset, too angry, too depressed, or too lost, and you can keep a level head and solve the problem in front of you. For example, what do most people do when shit goes south? They blow up, they get upset, they get angry, and they exert all of this energy blaming the world and feeling sorry for themselves. Meanwhile, the problem still sits there unsolved. But what do successful people do in this situation? They say, damn, that really sucks, but what can I do about it? What part of this is in my control, and how can I start working on a solution instead of crying about it like a little baby? And that's what makes the difference, because the reality is that hard shit is always coming. You can't control that, and you're an idiot not to expect it. What you can control is how fast you bounce back, how resourceful you are, and how long you're willing to keep showing up. Literally write down a whole list of sayings, reminders, quotes, or affirmations, whatever the fuck works for you. Write it in a place that you can easily reference and try to engrave these into your brain so that when hard shit does come up, you aren't spiraling and you can instantly bounce back and start working on solutions. And me personally, I have even gone as far as reading this entire list every single day, because if you can't tell already, I want this really fucking badly and I will do whatever it takes to get there. And with that being said, lesson 5 is you must have a burning desire for it. Now, I read this 4 years ago in the book Think and Grow Rich, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense, but it wasn't until this year that it actually clicked for me. If you truly want to succeed, you need to want it bad. And I know everybody watching this video right now is like, yeah, I want it bad. I want to be rich. I want to run a successful brand. I want it so badly. But here's the harsh truth. Most people don't want it bad enough. At the end of the day, it all comes down to one thing: your choices. The choice to wake up early instead of sleep in, the choice to take a deep breath and stay calm instead of blowing up, the choice to stay in and work when your friends are going out, and the choice to work an extra hour when all you want to do is kick back and play Skate 4. Building a successful business requires sacrifices, and most people are just simply not willing to make them. These are the same people that tell themselves, I'll do whatever it takes. But when the choice actually comes up, they're snoozing the alarm or picking up the goddamn PlayStation controller instead of actually doing the work. Your success is literally the sum of those tiny decisions you make every single day. I mentioned the video games a bit because this was the big one for me. During COVID, I used to play Fortnite for literally 8 to 10 hours a day. And the funny thing is, at that same time, I said I also want to build a business and get rich more than anything else. But clearly my actions said much differently. The truth is I was lying to myself. It wasn't until I accepted I had to give that up, or at least massively cut it down, that I actually made progress. And the craziest part is that once I did start putting all of my time into my brand, I got so invested and so hyped that I just stopped playing video games altogether. Every time I would pick up the controller, I just felt guilty, like, bro, there is so much that can be done right now, and I'm just wasting hours trying to get a victory royale. But I'm not gonna lie to you, most of the time it is not going to be that easy. If I had $1 for every time I've chosen work when it was the absolute last thing I wanted to do, I would have been a millionaire years ago. Every single day, you're gonna have to face stuff that you don't want to do, and that is why so many people never make it. So you have to ask yourself, do you really want it that bad? Are you actually willing to make those sacrifices? And if the answer is genuinely yes, then the next time you oversleep, the next time you pick up the controller or go out with friends when you know you should be working, I want you to feel guilty about that decision. Because if you truly want it, you should feel guilty. Because like I said, your actions are your reality. Now, I don't want you to take this in a black and white way. I'm not saying throw away your social life. I'm not saying you can never play video games again. I still hang out with friends, and I've low-key played Skate 4 like every single day this week. But here is the difference. I hold myself to a very high standard. I get at least 50 hours of work per week minimum. And realistically, most weeks I end up working 60 to 70 hours. And I literally never let myself fall short of that. I show up every single day, even if it's just for a couple of hours, even if it's the last thing that I want to do. So yes, I still take breaks and have fun, but only after the work is done. Because like I said, I want this shit really fucking bad, and I actually mean that. And you should too. Now listen guys, if you want to scale your brand, but you're stuck or just need a bit of extra guidance, I'm opening up 5 more spots inside my community where I personally help you grow your clothing brand. You'll get direct feedback from me on your specific brand, weekly strategy calls, plus access to my entire library of resources and connections, things like mockups, templates, and even my full manufacturing network. If you're interested, you can apply below in the description. The last lesson I'll leave you with is simple. Authenticity always wins. A huge mistake I see a lot of people make is trying to be someone that they're not. Thinking that they have to present themselves a certain way, talk a certain way, or design a certain way to be successful. And that is so far from the truth. Humans crave authenticity, especially now more than ever with AI being so big and all of these internet personalities and brands that seem to have no intention or any meaning behind them. Authenticity is what will make you stand out. And the more you can lean into that and be as true to yourself as possible, the more successful you're going to be. When I look at the biggest brands and content creators that I've seen grow over the past 4 years, it's the ones that actually stay true to themselves and their vision. I've seen so many brands come and go, and the ones that fall are always the ones that are just simply following trends and trying to make money. Once the trend dies, their brand is dead with it. Nobody gave a shit about the brand itself. They just liked it because they had trendy items. Whereas if you have a brand that actually stands for something and not the fake like clothes I made with real meaning bullshit you see people make, but when you truly have actual meaning and intention behind your brand, that is when people catch on. Because like I said, humans crave authenticity and they crave meaning. That is why so many brands nowadays, including myself, have grown a lot by simply talking about the meaning and intention behind the brand. Because it shows that we are real people just like you, just like everybody else. And if we can tell a compelling story and stand behind some shit full-heartedly, other people are going to follow. I see so many people do this backwards. They say, what's a brand identity that would sell? I've been seeing athleisure brands pop off recently. Maybe I should try that. Well, are you an athlete? Is that a lifestyle that you live? No? Then stay the fuck away. If it's not authentic to you, you will never understand what those customers want, and they will see right through it. I promise you, humans are so good at sniffing out fakes, they are gonna see right through that. To build a successful brand, you need to have a very clear picture of your target audience and the specific people buying your clothes. And that's why, in my opinion, one of the best ways to build a brand is to build your own perfect brand, to be your own target audience. I guarantee you there are hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of people out there who will share the same ideas, the same opinions, and the same beliefs as you do. The world is a big ass place. If you build authentically for you, you will attract those people too. Okay, I wasn't gonna do a 7th one, but this one is very important too and follows along with number 6, so fuck it. Lesson number 7, the riches are in the niches. Niche, whatever, doesn't fucking matter. The more niche your brand identity is, the easier it is to win. When you have an ultra specific brand, it's like flipping on cheat codes. You don't need to fight with every other streetwear brand out there. You create your own lane. Most people aim for the big categories like streetwear, luxury, athleisure. They think that market is huge. There's millions of buyers. But here's the reality. When you try to appeal to everyone, you appeal to no one. But when you niche down, suddenly you're the brand that people think of first. You stop being a clothing brand and you start being the brand for a very specific type of person. And that is so powerful because when somebody finally sees a product that feels like it was made exactly for them, they become cult fans. A niche makes your messaging sharper, it makes your marketing easier, and your products way more intentional. Instead of begging for attention like everybody else, you pull people in because you're speaking their exact language. So yes, the riches really are in the niches, whatever the fuck. The smaller you go, the stronger the connection and the faster you build a real community. So there it is. 4 years of building a clothing brand boiled down to the shit that actually matters. I really hope this saves you some time and headaches. And I truly recommend to watch this video again and really try to understand what I'm saying, not just to boost the views and watch time of this video, maybe just a little bit, but genuinely because I wish I could have watched this video before starting my brand. And I know if I did and really listened to it and put it into practice, I would have been able to save so much time, so much money wasted, and so many headaches along the way. Now, take these lessons, apply them, and build something that truly lasts, something authentic, something that stands out in a saturated market. Remember that great takes time. Consistency is key. Your mindset matters more than your designs, and always to go the extra mile. If you can internalize these principles, you're already ahead of 90% of brands out there. All right, peace.